Augusta. They say it's the second largest city in Georgia. Otherwise known as the Garden City. Home of James Brown, the godfather of soul. Every year, people flock here from around the world to see the Masters golf tournament. But what happens in Augusta when the Masters is over? What's there to do if you're one of the other 250,000 people who call Augusta their home?
I think the thing about Augusta, we probably have the only working canal. They can go up to the Enterprise Mill and they can see the actual operation of the canal. Now we've got the beautiful facility over at Augusta Golf and Gardens.
I don't know, it's very nice out of the Golf and Gardens. It's very beautiful. They have it really well done. But if you're not interested in golf, there's just not much to do out here. And even if you are interested in golf, you can see it all in about 10 minutes.
I think just starting at one end of Broad Street and walking to the other and just looking, but picking your restaurants. I think if you go through Broad Street, Reynolds Street, and the historic district downtown, there's a lot for people to do.
So unless you're a history buff or a golf connoisseur, your days and nights here in this city are bleak and ordinary. But there's hope. There's the Soul Bar.
To be the boss of Soul Bar.
Why did I want to be the boss of the Soul Bar?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be the boss, but I just wanted there to be a Soul Bar.
It came about in October of '95. We had gotten the space maybe in June or July and started working on it every day.
When we did it in the summer of '95, Terry Brogan, one of my best friends, and was looking to get into something like that where we could work together. And then Jason, my younger brother, was in Athens, just graduated, and he knew a little bit about the bar business, but from the other end, from going to many bars there, and something that we noticed when we would go up there, just all the bars in Athens, and why didn't we have anything like that here?
That's one thing we did before we opened. We went to Athens, went to Columbia, went and saw these different bars, what we liked about them, what we didn't like about them. Incorporated what we thought would work here.
Downtown had basically, in 1978, had basically gone away. I think what brought it back were and we have mentioned his name, was kind of like a renegade, like Coco Rubio, and people like him who came downtown, started opening these little small entertainment areas, bars, restaurants.
It seemed like a natural fit, something like what we had at the Tip Top, and then moving downtown. There were things downtown that made it attractive as far as buildings, the rent of the buildings, the actual structure, the aesthetics of the buildings. In other towns also, the downtowns were becoming revitalized, and a lot of it was behind musicians and artists and the bar scenes and things like that you had to have downtown and that people would support it. And Augusta's downtown is great, and we always really liked the way Broad Street was set up, and we thought it's just a matter of going in and trying to do it and working on it full time, that with the right people working, that we could do something here and people would support it, because we knew the people that were wanting to to have something like this. So it just all seemed very natural for us to do, and then to call it the Soul Bar in honor of James Brown, who for us has always been just an important figure as far as music. And being from Augusta, it just seemed natural that there was a soul bar here, and so that was just a natural name that we came up with, and thought that we were surprised that there wasn't already a a soul bar in Augusta. So we thought from now on there'll have to be a soul bar here.
The Soul Bar!
Now it seems like I get a lot of emails and phone calls from bands that are trying to get in contact with me, which is nice. But I'm always looking for bands that I see playing out, or if I see some music that I hear, I look up the band and try to find out when they're touring and try to maybe get them to play here.
Thanks a lot, y'all. We're about to be done.
It's my favorite room to play in. Coco's always been supportive of every band I've ever played in. Playing there has hooked whatever band I've played in up with other bands that were from out of town. And so it's a symbiotic relationship. It's always a good thing, man. The Soul Bar is the best.
Who wants to pay $150 for this microphone? Do I have 150? You? 151, anybody? $300. No, I like this one better. We got something important to say. 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 So just say it. Just say it. Just fucking say it. Out with it. Out with it. Out with it. Out with it. Whoa!
Death Stars played a show, much less played together. Been quite a while, so thanks. Thank you. What's up? Turn my guitar up? Shit.
The chance that I have, wouldn't change a thing about you except you give more than any other human to my bad being. Everything it takes, all my love and faith.
Yeah, Soul Bar is like playing in somebody's living room almost. It's like it's not set up like any big venue. We do have the stage now. We used to not have the stage. People, the bands would come in, set up on the floor, playing right in front of people. The people standing right in front of them. Thank you very much. It's totally different than seeing them at a, 40-watt big stage in front of you, any place like that.
The show was drunk. A couple of shots, a few beers, I was drinking fancy beer at the beginning of the night. I was like, Newcastle, please. I had 2 of those, and then I cut that bull crap. PBR.
When asked if he was aware of a night called Disco Hell, where the Soul Bar pays homage to the music of the late 70s, Mark Harris was quick to respond.
Well, no, I wasn't aware of that. You know, they didn't write me and ask me my thoughts on it before they did it. And really, I haven't gotten an invitation from Coco to attend that yet.
Disco Hell was a thing that Coco started. He started at the Tip Top here in Augusta. I would say maybe 1990, 91, it was a New Year's thing that he did. At the time, it was just him playing everything. You know, Disco Hell is not strictly disco music. It was just dance music. It evolved into something that everybody wanted to go to, you know, whenever that was going on. At Tip Top, at the Red Line when he did it there. We moved it down here to the Soul Bar when we opened, you know, that first weekend. It was Disco Hell, and everybody moved down here with it.
Disco Hell's funny because really it was our New Year's Eve party that we had in 1990, and you know, just played a lot of dance music. So a lot of it was just old disco and old funk and, you know, old hip hop records, and it was really fun. And then so we did it the following month again, and it wasn't a New Year's Eve party. We just called it Disco Hell and thought it was a funny thing just to play old dance songs and some new stuff. And even now, I mean, I play a lot of different stuff, but I try to, you know, play just fun dance music and old stuff, some new stuff, and just break out, you know, the old James Brown songs and just have fun. And, you know, do it once a month. It seems to, you know, people really enjoy it, and it's worked out nicely.
You know, now the disco music, if folks want to disco and be disco duck and dance, that's perfectly fine with me. We just want to make sure that it continues to be something in downtown that everybody in the CSRA can be proud of and pleased to have here.
Once a month, something interesting actually happens in the city of Augusta. Every first Friday, artisans, crafters, and musicians flock downtown to showcase their talents.
First Friday's always been about the gallery crawls and the art, in my opinion. So we've always done our art exhibit openings on First Friday inside the bar, and we used to have stuff on the sidewalks out front, and always try to have exhibits and artists out there doing stuff.
A lot of the places down here that say they started First Friday wouldn't let you show unless you had a college degree. So I ended up coming in here and asking Coco if I could show work. I probably have like 7 or 8 shows now here, and keep the prices pretty low to affordable. But it's cool because the influx of people, you know, you get a lot of people putting eyes on it, and time to time sell it. But it's a cool place to show, and good clientele.
I feel like First Friday is a great event. I think everybody can be winners through First Friday. I think it has been something that has grown, something that people are excited about, and it's just a great time. It's a great atmosphere to be able to walk around downtown and bring your kids and enjoy going in some of the shops, looking at the artwork, going by some of the vendors along the street, and it's just a great atmosphere that I think continues to attract people to downtown.
We've kind of moved First Friday to 10th Street, right around the corner from the bar, because we can block it off, you know, with the city, and it's kind of neat to have that area to have bands and things like that. So we're kind of working on, you know, doing more things outside during First Fridays, and then, of course, having the exhibits inside, and it's just a really busy night. And I think once people started doing that on First Fridays, you know, they kind of realized they can come down on other nights too, and, you know, have just as much fun, and there are things to do, and, you know, more things are opening up, so it's nice for people to come down.
It's First Friday!
Wow, characters, all different kinds, and always have had all different kinds of characters, and even now you'll have some of these very wealthy guys from the hill will come in, and then you'll have sometimes some street guy trying to see if he can do a little job, you know, make some money so he can put some gas in his car that's down the street.
You see a lot of new faces, you see a lot of familiar faces. It's nice because you can come in a soul bar by yourself and always like see people that you know and be able to just hang, and also you can come here and there's always a new crowd.
It's the same crowd all the time whenever you come in, so.
It's the same crowd, just different people.
Yeah, it's the same people, the same crowd.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Hey dude, listen.
Look, you owe me $2, all right?
All kinds. Businessmen, guys with tattoos, military people, everything.
James Brown has been in numerous times. He hasn't been in a couple years though, but he would come in any given night. They would call, his chauffeur would call beforehand and ask how, you know, he didn't want to come in when it was too busy, so he would just come in when it wasn't very busy, talk to everybody. It'd take forever to have to leave because everybody would stop him, ask for an autograph, ask for a picture to be taken with them. Jim Belushi was here. He showed up, sang a couple songs with the jazz band that was playing. The crowd loved him. A great night. Coco and Terry had one time when somebody came in here with a shotgun, a rifle, something, wanting to sell it. It's kind of crazy, you know, somebody walking into a bar with a big old rifle.
On Wednesday, March 5th, 2003, the unthinkable happened.
I was on my way to downtown Augusta on my way to work early in the morning, and I get off the expressway, and as soon as I get downtown, I heard the fire engines, and then I could smell the smoke, and as I got a little further into downtown Augusta, I could see the smoke coming from something.
Yeah, I was getting phone calls early in the morning that I was ignoring, Then we got a knock on the door. It's Allison Green from the Boll Weevil.
In that 10 minutes that it took me to go to Jason's, get him, and come back down over to where the fire, I would say probably 75 people had come out and was standing around the Soul Bar.
Yeah, I didn't think it was true. I thought someone was playing when they called because it was in the morning of Ash Wednesday last year, and they're like, Soul Bar's on fire, and I was like, man, that's not funny. It's 7 in the morning. Why are you calling? And then I could tell they were serious, and so I quickly went down, and sure enough, man, there was trucks down there and smoke coming out, and it was just, kind of unbelievable just to think that, that was going on, and luckily they got there quickly, and it could have been worse, and just to think about that is, it's pretty crazy.
And it really kind of showed you the support of the community and how upset everybody got when that happened, because the Soul Bar was one of the first businesses to come down to downtown Augusta and establish themselves and be the place to go in downtown Augusta. And when they had that fire, you knew right away, no matter what, that the Soul Bar was gonna reopen, but you didn't know when, you didn't know how long it would be, you didn't know the extent of the damage, and you just got really scared, because without the Soul Bar, there's no downtown Augusta. The people involved in that and the people that go there really make up this city.
Despite the tragedy, the Soul Bar was able to reopen just 5 weeks later thanks to the support of the community.
There's a lot of smoke damage, a lot of heat damage, bar damage. Took us a while to, it took us 5 weeks to get it reopened again. We had a lot of help, made it, new and improved Soul Bar.
Essentially started almost all over. We pressure washed the walls and painted them and brought in new furniture and rebuilt took out the old bar, built a new one.
We lost a lot of memorabilia from the walls, but little by little we've gotten new things and have built back the collection that we've had. But I don't know if it's really changed. We tried to keep it the same. Even painted it back the same colors. So I don't know. I don't think it's really changed too much from then.
You just think about how close you were to losing an icon to downtown Augusta. And when they had the reopening party, it was the most phenomenal thing I'd ever seen.
Soul Bar, we've always talked about maybe opening up one somewhere else.
Downtown Augusta's changing. Hopefully the Soul Bar will just be, something that you have in downtown.
The success of the Soul Bar has allowed other people to have the courage to move into downtown Augusta and open restaurants and open bars and open businesses. After the Soul Bar came in here and they survived and they made a name for themselves, and it just really gave you the courage to do it yourself. You wouldn't think that one place can mean so much to a town like this, but it really is the cornerstone of all independent businesses.
The restaurant I work in, I always meet a lot of people from out of town. People ask me all the time, what is there to do here in the city of Augusta? Usually I send people down to the Soul Bar. There's a lot of diversity, a lot of culture, a lot of art, a lot of music. You have live bands, you have a dance night, and you have nights where you can just go in there and grab a beer and meet up with friends.
It's just great having a place like the Soul Bar in downtown Augusta. It's just a place to go.